16-25 here. We have, I mean, it's very interesting. Oregon losing Nate Costa for the season. That's huge. I mean, they lost Dennis Dixon and they struggled after they lost Dennis Dixon. It seems like quarterbacks, you shouldn't be a quarterback at the University of Oregon. I don't know if recruits they'll probably have a tough time getting a good quarterback now. It's some bad karma.
It's going to be interesting. Oregon, how the new Oregon quarterback's going to adapt to the spread offense. Similar situation to Michigan. I mean, who's the quarterback going to be there that can best fit the new spread offense that Rodriguez is running? We give the Pac-10 love all the time. The Pac-10's a good conference.
Yes.
And Oregon could be. We'll see how they do early.
Yeah, because they still have a great pass rusher, Nick Reed. He had 12 sacks last year, So and Patrick Chung, he's a kamikaze guy at strong safety. That's for sure. Speaking of the Pac-10, Arizona State, they host Georgia. That's a chance for them to make some noise.
Big test early on. It's going to be interesting. It's a different kind of climate there in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Big game for both teams. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait either. And Rudy Carpenter, can he follow up with his, had a solid season, 3,200 yards, 25 TDs last year. Brigham Young, Max Hall, this team, Brigham Young, has a chance to possibly run the table undefeated. They have two tough road games at TCU and at Utah. If they can get through those, it'll be amazing. And also at Washington, which isn't a give me, so... But Max Hall leading them, they can end up being like this year's Hawaii.
I think you're right, and I expect them to be like a Hawaii this year. They're a really tough team, and their schedule isn't too bad, and I think they can beat Washington.
But if Ty Willingham wins that game, because we were talking about coaches on the hot seat before the show, if Ty Willingham could take care of business, that can help.
He needs to win that game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so
they play BYU they play UCLA. They have UCLA at home.
UCLA
is down a little bit, I think.
Two decent Pac-10 schools on the schedule could help their slate. I want to talk about South Florida and Pittsburgh, Big East. Give me your take on both those squads, their defenses especially.
Well, yeah, both teams are really loaded. I mean, under kind of, Pittsburgh's been stockpiling recruits for a few years now. I think this is the year Wannstedt's going to sort of bring it together and build on last year. I think they're going to be really tough. South Florida is, I think they're a sleeping giant down there. They also, like Kansas, probably have a bullseye on their back now. I think people are aware of what they're doing, and that's why it's going to be interesting to see that Kansas-South Florida matchup.
Yeah, and it's interesting with George Selvey, man. One of the best pass rushers in the country, and, a hybrid, that hybrid of a D-end and O-linebacker. He'll be that hybrid in the NFL for sure.
He will.
But he, definitely, but losing Trey Williams and Mike Jenkins, excuse me.
Corner,
that could be tough. That could be tough, for the secondary, for the returning secondary. But yeah, and Wake Forest. Talk about Wake Forest. Jim Grove, one of the best coaches pound for pound in the country.
He really is, and Wake Forest, they've got a couple guys on the defensive side of the ball that are among the best at their position in the country. Aaron Curry, the linebacker, and Alfonso Smith, a terrific corner.
Mm-hmm.
They have one of the better defenses in the country, and in what we believe to be, you and I believe to be, kind of a maligned and justly maligned ACC, a down ACC, they could really sneak up on people and go to a BCS game.
That's right, and we're going to talk about that because that national championship implications, Clemson at Wake Forest, definitely is a big game. And moving on to conclude the top 25, Penn State, Virginia Tech, Fresno State, Alabama. Fresno State, very interesting. They're now seen as the team to beat in the WAC over Boise State.
Fresno State, I can't wait to see them play. Actually, there's so much to like about that team.
And they're at Rutgers to lead off.
Yeah.
And hosting Wisconsin too.
That's big test for them, but I think they could win both games.
Yeah, definitely. And then now moving on to the 5 squads. Oh wow, time flies so fast. There's so much to talk about. 5 squads on the outside looking in: Michigan, Utah, Florida State, UConn, which is finally getting some credit and recognition,
Yeah.
and Michigan State. We're going to talk about Javon Ringer later on, their senior running back. But let's talk about the Michigan-Utah matchup coming up on August 30th. Tomorrow, actually.
Michigan can't afford to play defensively like they did against Appalachian State. If they expect to win this game, I mean, Utah will blow them out of the big house.
That's right.